Hey guys, Blazie here, and yes I am a furry, and it is very late at the moment. It's about 1 AM. I am tired, my head hurts, I want to go to bed, but I just got back from seeing Venom, and I wanted to talk about this movie. I want to talk about it and get this review up as soon as possible, because this movie is getting a lot of hate. And you know how, and if you've watched some of my other movie reviews, you know how I feel about these kind of movies. They get a lot of hate, because just like a lot of the other ones I've reviewed, this one does not deserve it. So let's talk about that then, shall we? This movie is getting a lot of mixed reviews, mostly negative, and partly, very, very smallly, I understand why, because it does have a different backstory for him. But you gotta understand these things. This is a movie, not a comic book. These are two separate types of media, and that's how I see these things. This is how I see all these kind of things when it comes to Marvel movies or game movies or anything. They're two separate kinds of media. Just like any other comic book series, there are multiple, for example, there are multiple different comic books out there of like Superman, Batman, Venom, Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff, that all have different stories to them, that all have different backstories, different levels of gore, and, you know, all that kind of stuff to it. And in comic book form, that seems to be okay, but if you change it in a movie, oh no, that is a stupid thing to do. And people are idiots, because there's so many different backstories to different characters. So giving Venom a new backstory, perfectly fine, because it worked in this movie. I thought, I didn't mind his backstory, I didn't mind the whole thing, what they went with the story. So once again, I don't agree with what reviews this movie is getting, just like the Predator movie, which I know didn't get good reviews either, and just like that one, I love this. I loved Venom. Some major points as to why this movie is getting some hate is that there's comedy in it. And not all the jokes hit, is that they say. And it's like, oh, it doesn't know if it wants to be an action, or it doesn't know if it wants to be a comedy. I'm sorry, but have you ever watched a Marvel film? Have you ever watched any superhero films? They all have comedy in them. All of them. They all have a form of comedy in them. So, people are idiots. If you're going to put in your review that this movie doesn't know if it wants to be a comedy or an action, why not both? Why not both? That's what makes a great movie, is when it can do both. And, you know, like, people in the cinema were laughing. People in the cinema were laughing at these jokes and things that would happen. And, yeah, it could be silly. Okay, this movie can be very, very silly. This movie is silly. And I freaking loved it, because comic books are silly. Spider-Man is silly. Like, you look at all the villains in Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Vulture, Rhino, Scorpion. They're all fucking named after animals, for goodness sakes. You know? Lizard Man, and all that. You know, they're all just animal names. You know? So, what do you expect? What do you expect, guys? I know a lot of people wanted this to be a dark movie. People are hoping it'll be a dark movie. But not even Venom's like that. Venom is an anti-hero. He's always been like that. He's just always had a bit of a hatred for Spider-Man in the comics or whatever. But I don't care that Spider-Man's not in this movie, because a lot of people will be like, well, there's no connection to the other movies. Who cares? Who really freaking cares? I don't care about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't give a crap about it. Because once you start adding in all these different things, it's like, well, why wasn't Thor here? Why wasn't Ant-Man helping out over here? Why wasn't Spider-Man helping out over here? Why wasn't Iron Man helping out? Why wasn't Hulk Hogan out? Yeah, they can find different little things to, you know, say, oh yeah, he was here, he was there, but once you start adding in all those characters, it just gets really freaking stupid. And so, I don't care that there's no mention of Spider-Man or anything like that in this movie. It just ends up being its own sort of movie then, in its own world, and I like that. I missed that feeling in a lot of these other Marvel films. where it has to be connected. It's all connected, and that just gets really annoying and convoluted. I enjoyed that this was his own movie. It was Venom, and that's all it was. Well, that and Eddie Brock, and I really loved both of them in this movie. Like, Eddie Brock is great character in this. He, like, I guess that's like Tom Hardy doing a great job of him. He's like, I can't really think of any movie I know him in. And I know, I do hear a lot that he's a great actor, but he's never really just had that standout role, I think. But I think he was great. He was absolutely great as Eddie Brock. Now, I don't know much about the Eddie Brock character, but that's totally fine, because this is a movie, so I'm just going to go by what they've done in this world. And he's perfectly fine. Like, he was very believable as a character. He did everything what you would expect someone to do in this kind of situation, and I enjoyed it. His performance was really well done, and if a duo of him and Venom was great. They are so funny together. There's some really funny things, and they work really well together. And I loved what they tried to do. I loved the comedy between those two. Venom is surprisingly funny. He is surprisingly funny, and it works so well. And I loved it. I loved it. It was funny. It was funny. It's a bit of a dumb movie. Like, a lot of people say, yeah, it's like the old superhero movies and such. Oh, you mean the ones that were actually really fucking great? I love the original X-Men movies. I love the original Spider-Man movies. I love the corniness of those movies and how they actually felt like a comic book movie. Well, nowadays, it's just a crap ton of special effects, and it's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a comic book anymore. Well, back then, it did. And that's what this one kind of feels like. It feels like some silly comic book. And yeah, I enjoyed it. The duo of them two really worked. And I enjoyed the villain of it. It was like an interesting kind of thing when you think about it as to why Wyatt, yeah, I can't say that word, don't hate me on that. But why, like, Wyatt was the way he was, and why Venom was the way he was, is because they're symbiotes, and they work together in the human body kind of thing, where they become one. And so it basically just showed how much sort of a good guy, but not a good guy Eddie Brock is, while then it showed just how much of a dick the evil dude that Wyatt ends up becoming. Okay, yeah, okay, I forgot his name, but again, it's like 1 AM, it's late, I'm tired, give me a break here. So yeah, I thought the villain was fine. Probably one of my only other gripes is, like, the special effects look fine. Oh my god, that tongue. Oh my god, that tongue. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Ha ha ha. The special effects are fine. Just during the fight scenes, it gets a little fuzzy kind of thing, and I think that's just because it's really quick and all that. And then in the cinema, it's a little bit darker and all that kind of stuff. And we were sitting, like, right at the very front, and that was, like, the only shot. The cinema was packed. Like, we tried to go into, like, a 7 o'clock session, and it was full. So we tried 9, it was full. So we got in at a 9:30 one. That's why it's so late, because it's about a 2-hour-ish movie, and it took a while to get home. So yeah, the whole cinema was packed, and everyone was enjoying it. Everyone was enjoying it. So yeah, anyway, like, the problem is Wyatt's color is like grey, and then Venom's black, and so during they fight during, like, the night. So it's when you just see Wyatt on his own, you can tell the slight difference with them. But when Venom and Wyatt are fighting together, it's just like a bit of a mix mass. That's a little sad. It would have been nice if I went with someone with a little slightly different color or something that wasn't just, that mixes too well with the black. But it was still good action. It was still fun. It was a very fun movie. It was a bit of a slow to start, a little bit slow. But once Venom comes into it, it's great. It's absolutely great. sitting there watching it and enjoying it. I enjoyed this movie, this whole entire movie. It was great. Like, there are reviewers out there saying it's like Catwoman or Elektra. Oh my gosh, you guys are idiots. You guys are idiots, 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 idiots. I hate reviewers so much. And yes, I get it. I am one. Ha! I like reviewing stuff. I do. But I am someone who understands movies. I understand someone who understands stories. I am a general populace person who enjoys his movies. I am not a critic. I'm just someone who understands movies and how they work and what people are trying to envision. Okay, I have a pretty big imagination, right? And I can understand what people are trying to create here. And it's a matter of if it works, if the CGI was good, if the music's good, if the atmosphere's good, if the characters are well done and all that. And yeah, they were in this movie. They were well done. Is it still an amazing ass movie? No. But I still loved it. It's not a bad movie at all. This is not a bad movie. It does not deserve its low scores. I figured at least a lot of people would give it average scores, because it's not a bad movie at all. I don't know what they were expecting. Like, were they expecting, yeah, like I said before, were they expecting, like, a dark comedy? Like, were they expecting, like, or just, like, yeah, to be a very dark, gory film? Because that's just not what Venom is. It's not what comic books are, you know? Maybe in the DC universe, but it's not what Spider-Man is. It's not what Spider-Man is, so if that's what you expected out of this film, then no. No, I don't care for R-rated Marvel movies and all that kind of stuff, because it's dumb. Hell, look at Deadpool, that's all R-rated. That's mostly just because of, you know, he's called the Merc with a mouth, so, you know, he's gonna swear and such all the time, and then whenever there is gore, it's not that bad, you know? And it's like, you'll just see him, like, maybe explode and all that. It's done for comedy. That's just it. It's done for comedy, not to be gory. Maybe Logan was, but I never watched that movie because I gave up on X-Men after the third one. But that's just me. But, like, with this movie, there's still gore. It's just not a bunch of blood. Like, you still see him bite heads off. You know, he's like biting heads off people. You know, it's like, that's still, it's just not a whole lot of blood going everywhere. So that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't want a whole bunch of sprays of blood, because that just looks dumb and stupid and animated. And, you know, so just seeing him, you know, just bite someone's head off, that's still great. There's still implied gore, basically. It's very much implied, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I don't want a gore fest. You want that? Go see the new Halloween movie coming out, or whatever monster movie. Right, this is a Venom movie, based in the Spider-Man universe, basically. And Spider-Man's not gory. So, your expectations were just too high. You wanted something else and got something different, but does that make it bad? No, it doesn't, guys. Like, come on. I'm getting so sick of these kind of movies getting such low reviews when they don't deserve it. And it makes me so sad. It really does. I hope the reviews go up for it. I hope this earns enough money, because it deserves it. For Christ's sakes. It was good. It was dumb, but so good. You know, I'll give this movie a solid 7 out of 10 foxes. It was a well done movie. It's definitely above average. It's not freaking Catwoman or anything like that. Like, god damn it, this was a perfectly good movie. The actors are good in it. The music, all that works well. The villain's good. The CGI is pretty good. Everything in this movie is perfectly okay. It's not the shitstorm that people are calling it. It's not that bad of a movie, guys. Please go out and watch it and change these people's minds of this movie because it's good. And I hope this review does something for people. Gosh darn it. I hope it does. I'm getting so sick of this. Man. I mean, it's nice when I find people who do agree with me, that's for sure. So I hope you guys agree with me. If you do, please let me know. And yeah, I'm gonna end this video here because I'm tired, my head's hurting. It's late. And I'll say the usual things at the end. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel because I'll love you if you do. And hit that little bell icon to get notified when I upload videos if you are subscribed. Alright guys, bye for now.